Hello and welcome to Unabashed You, Marianne Iverson.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I think we originally met at 12 and 12 in September. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were at the same conference where we're learning how to be coaches and we're learning how to share our program, and that is how we originally met. And then we're both in a WhatsApp group where we encourage each other, and that's been a lot of fun too. So I was wanted to have Marianne on the show. She also has a podcast. So let's get to know you a little bit better. Is there anything you want the listeners to know before we get started here?
Well, sure. Yeah. I am a certified life coach and I am a newly empty nester. So I have four children and my youngest just left last summer. So I've just been trying to go through this transition of kids leaving and figuring out the last problem, all those last things. And then the quiet house after and trying to figure out, what's next. And, you spend all your time with focusing on your kids and your family, and all of a sudden you have this empty space to figure out what's next for you. So
Right. Well, and I would say since I'm a little bit got a few years on the empty nesting that it's the sweetest season so far I have found.
I definitely have heard that, and I haven't been experiencing, that a little bit, but that transition to the empty nest of
Yeah.
figuring that out is like really a lot of mind chatter, a lot of mindset work, a lot of figuring out what you want to do. And it is so sweet once you figure that out. But I'm trying to
Yes.
help women to in that transition so they can figure out what's next, excited about your next chapter and intentionally creating it.
Right. Well, that's, I think, really important work. And I think a lot of us need that. And I hope that a lot of us want that so that we can really, experience and have a lot of value in this, after the kids are gone.
Yeah, for sure.
What three words would you use to describe yourself, Marianne?
Well, I would say intentional. I'm very intentional and about what I want in my life, and that's actually one of the pillars of my program is being intentional about creating your next chapter. I'd also say outgoing. I love talking to people, and my kids would always be like, "Stop talking to people in the grocery store." And then I would just say a lover of people and Jesus. I just love to be with people. I love Jesus, and yeah.
Oh, those are wonderful words, and they do start to paint a picture of who you are because we don't really know each other well. So this is helpful for me to hear about this. Okay, two truths and a lie. Do you know how this goes?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Are you going to guess
Okay.
them or how does it go?
No, so you're going to say the three things, and then I'm going to see if I can figure out which one of the
Okay.
things is the lie.
Okay. All right. So I've always known exactly what I want to do with my life. I cried in the parking lot after dropping off my youngest to college, and I rappelled off a 130-foot cliff and whooped and hollered all the way down.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That just did not go the way I thought it was going to go. Okay, let me get my glasses on and read what typed here. Okay, you've always known what you wanted to do or what you wanted to do or have in life. How did you word that?
Yeah, I've always known exactly what I wanted to do with my life.
Oh, oh, that is so declarative. Okay, and you cried in the parking lot after dropping off. Was this your youngest child?
Yeah.
Okay, youngest. So that would have been a first for him, but a last for you, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
youngest at
definitely.
college, and you fell off a
I
30.
repelled, not fell.
Oh, I was like, how are you even still here? Okay.
Big difference there.
Off a
On
30,
purpose.
30-foot cliff on purpose. So you were rock climbing or what have you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to set aside the rappelled off a 30-foot cliff, and I'm going to set aside that you cried in the parking lot dropping off your youngest at college because I think that could definitely be true, and that you've always known what you wanted to do. I'm very thrown by the word always. That
Mhm.
is a very tricky word. I've always known what I wanted to do with my life. Okay. You might be tricking me on this one, but I'm going to say that number one is the lie. And I think you probably did know you wanted to get married, you wanted to have kids, there were certain milestones, but maybe there was more there that you didn't know about that made the always, that's that always that's throwing me. I do believe you cried in the parking lot. I do believe you repelled, and you did use a number. So maybe it was a 40-foot cliff. Maybe it was a 25-foot cliff. Okay, how'd I do?
You did pretty well. And it's a 130-foot cliff, not just a 30-foot cliff. So there
Okay,
you
because
go.
I was okay,
But
100. Oh
there
my
you did
God.
catch the lie. You did catch the lie, which was really good because I haven't always known, like you're saying, that always is a thing. But I, like you're saying, like I kind of knew I wanted to get married. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to get my degree. I wanted to have children. But this time in my life, like with my youngest was like 2 years before she graduated from high school. That was when I was like, I have no idea what I want to do next.
Right.
And that I was just like, as people started asking me, like, what are you going to do when you become an empty nester? And I was like, I have no idea. And it scared me to death. And so that's when I started going to work, trying to figure out like, what am I going to do next? And what even lights me up? And what do I even like to do? And who am I now?
Right.
And so, yeah, I felt like I did kind of always know what I wanted until now, until right, two years before my youngest left for college. So
Well, because we don't necessarily, we think, yeah, we're going to go to college probably, get married probably, have some kids probably, but then what?
yeah,
Then what? I get that. I get the not knowing what that is going to look like. Ooh, very good. Love those. Okay, and so let's clarify 130, 50 a foot cliff. That's 13 stories, people. I mean, if you think 10 feet a story, that's 13. That is very high. That
yeah.
is very high. Oh my goodness. Okay, and the only reason I didn't pick that, Marianne, is you sent me some pictures. One of your pictures, you look like you'd been rock climbing, and I was like, okay. So when you gave me that as an option, I'm like, well, I think that could be true.
Yeah, you
That
did have
could
a
be
little clue
true.
there.
Yeah. Okay, Marianne, one of your favorite movies of all time?
I would say, well, first I'd say any Hallmark movie. And my mom we used to watch all the Hallmark movies and she'd filter out the ones that actually had like a plot and a theme, right? And then she'd send me them and say, watch these ones, and we'd watch them together. And so that was always really fun. But if I had to pick one specific movie, I would say Runaway Bride. I love
Oh,
Julia Roberts and I love the scenes of that and it's really well done. But I also feel like it relates so well to us women in general and in life. And we, for 25 years or so, we've probably been like figuring out how everyone else in the family and the husband likes the eggs. And you kind of sometimes forget like who you are and what you like to do. And,
right,
in the movie, Julia Roberts just goes to what the kind of egg she likes is like whatever her partner likes, and she keeps switching it
right.
until kind of at the end she kind of realizes like who she is and who she wants to be. And so I think that that's a kind of reflective of the stage that the women that I help are is just like, who do I know? How do I even like my eggs, right?
Right. Yes. And I like that as representative, like you said, of what do we actually like, right? And how fun that your clients get to sort of explore some of that will send them on a more empowered, insightful course for their empty nesting years. Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
I like to think of like who like what lights them up, like what's their spark, like a fire needs
Yeah.
even just a little spark to get started. You have to keep feeding that flame, but it's like
Yes.
what's their spark?
Right. And you do have to keep feeding it. I mean,
Yeah,
you're right. And just like when we build a fire in the fireplace, if it's not a gas fire and we're actually using wood, we have to keep feeding it to keep it going. Well,
yeah.
that's good. Like that. And a person that inspires you.
I would say Jody Moore, and I was certified by her, and I know that you're in her coaching program right now. What thing I love most about her is how she's just like so open to possibility. It's just like if you can dream it, if you desire it, you can create it, and you don't even have to know how. But the idea, the first step, and I guess for most people is the possibility of what the future is. And
Right.
yeah,
Oh, I like that. The possibilities, if you can desire it, you can create it. Yeah, that's very good. And I think sadly not enough of us really understand that, right? That truth.
yeah.
And a piece of wisdom you keep handy.
I like to think we are made by a creator to create.
Ah, that's good.
And I come back to this one a lot because um, our brains are made to like solve problems, to figure things out. And if we don't give it something like productive, it's brilliant to productive to like figure out, then it goes to work like thinking like, why haven't my kids called? What's wrong with my husband? What's wrong with my coworker? What, all these
Right.
different things because your brain is a problem solving machine. And so if we're made by a creator to create, and we give our brains things to create, possibilities to create, things we want to create in our next chapter or in our season that we're in, then it will
Yeah.
go to work creating that. And to realize
Mm,
that it's not just like our brains are magnificent, but we're made by creator to create. That's like our purpose, our mission, our vision.
I love that. I love that. And I completely agree. I completely agree. Yes, create. And I think at the same time, not enough of us are doing it. I don't want to say just at all, and I think there's that, but then, or to, I think it could be done to a greater degree. That would probably be a simpler way to say that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And having the I guess the possibility, that's what I was talking about before, is that it's possible and I'm gonna do it from I can create it.
Yes, yes, it's possible. All right, we are going to go into our deep dive now, Marianne. We are in the series Permission to Want More, What's Next and What's Left. So let's find out where you're at with some of these and have ourselves a conversation around it. When did you first realize that you might not be done yet?
Well, like I mentioned, it kind of honestly stuck up on me. And the biggest thing was my daughter played soccer and I coached her when she was younger and she played soccer all through the years. And it was her senior game, senior night high school, and it was like the fall of her senior year. And it was under the lights. And it kind of came to me, I kind of realized like this is the last of the last, right? I'm sure everyone can relate to that, where it's just kind of like, wow. And like I mentioned, everyone was asking me, like, what are you going to do when you become an empty nester? And I was just like, wow, I need to figure this out. And so that's when I kind of went to work. I went to like a next chapter leadership series. I started the coach training with Jody Moore. I've read lots of books. I did lots of work on my own to figure out what's
Right.
next for me. And that's what brought me to life coaching.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
And so the kind of that night under the lights was what like kind of opened me up, kind of was like, I got to figure this out for myself, knowing that I was going to become an empty nester and wanted what I wanted in my next chapter. So,
Right. Gosh, that's so good. That's so good. And you had used the word intentional in describing yourself. So that really fits right in there. I mean, you didn't just sit around and not think about it. You not only did you put it to the forefront of your mind, but you also did something about it. You sought out resources, you learned, you did all these things to help clarify what could be next for you. And then you made that decision, and that is really cool. Yeah, and there is no substitute for the work. I mean, and you can make the work, I don't know what the right word for it be, but it can be very encouraging and very inspirational when you're doing the learning.
oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, what did you want that you were afraid to admit, maybe even to yourself?
Well, I think so. My husband had different, lots of different businesses, right? And I have a degree in business, and so I would do like, finances and the payroll and kind of all the organization of the business. And what I was afraid to admit to myself, like I wanted my own business. I didn't want to just support
Uh,
his businesses. I wanted actually to have my own business and to create my own business, my own coaching program, and my own coaching business. And it kind of felt like it was selfish. It was like I should be supporting my kids or my husband or other things, and to want something for myself and my own business and pursue my own business was like, oh, it's kind of selfish. And even after I started pursuing my own coaching business, my husband started another business. And I said, just to be very clear, I am no longer your support crew. Like I'm supporting you as doing your own business, but I'm also doing my own. And that actually felt really good.
Oh, that's so good. It feels bold and then also loving because for you it was okay, here's the line now.
Yeah.
And you did it from a place of love, for him, for you. I like how you handled that. How did you work out of it not feeling selfish? I mean, you're wanting your own business and you're like, oh, it feels kind of selfish. How did you work out of that?
Um, well, what I realized was that, like I talked about, going through the next chapter series and going through coach training, is desire isn't selfish. It's sacred direction.
Oh my gosh. That is like truth bomb. Oh my gosh.
And so
Oh,
I really feel like
wow.
if you, when you follow your desires, it's kind of like a child who's been pulling at your sleeve for years and years and years, and you finally acknowledge it. It's like, I've wanted to do these things for years and years. I've had interest in coaching. I've had interest in teaching. I've had interest in helping other women for years and years. And then to actually follow that sacred direction of my
Hmm.
desires, I realized that wasn't selfish.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think we already know have the name of your episode. That is just so, it's so good. Thank you for sharing that, Marianne. That's fantastic. Was there a fear that tried to convince you to stay where you were?
Mm, well, I think there's always the voice in your own head thinking, who am I to try to, do this own business or to coach other women or, different things. I also had a job at a dental office that I really liked. And I felt like I was letting them down if and
Uh,
finally, I was trying to do both for quite a long time. And finally I was like, I'm all in on my coaching business. I'm all in on helping women. And so beginning of this year, I quit my dental job, and I did feel bad about, but they have their own business and I was ready to create my own business.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, and I think we do spend time being concerned about not just what other people think, but how's this going to affect them, right?
right,
And
right.
and I think in a way that's a lovely thought, but then in another way you wouldn't want that to stop you from doing the thing that you are meant to do. So I'm glad that you went, you pursued it anyway.
Yeah.
And so the shifting that you made to finally give yourself permission, was that in the coaching program, the learning, all of the above? I mean, the shift to finally give yourself permission to do this thing? What was the shift? Oh, it was at the soccer field.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. It was at the soccer field. Yes, and you express that so beautifully. Okay, and I like that it's a word picture. We can see you at a soccer field having that aha moment as you realize, oh, this is this okay. What's next? Yes. What would you say to any woman that's listening who feels like it's too late?
Well, I would just say it's not. Like you were saying, this is like the most sweet season. And it's like, you know, it's like how almost half of your life that you still get to pursue. And you have a lot of, and so it's just, I used to think that my, let's see. So I think just even the fact that like the women here are listening to this podcast is an evidence that they're ready to start. They're ready to do something with, something with their lives. And
Yeah.
especially this what's the series that you have going on here.
Yes.
I like the um one of the wake up moments for me was the book called Big Magic.
Big magic. I haven't heard of that. Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, it's by Elizabeth, let me see actually. Elizabeth Gilbert.
Okay, we know her from Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, and she basically with Big Magic is she's just telling you like all of us have these ideas, these stories, these what's the word, like things that you want to do with your life. I can't think of the right word I'm thinking of, but in your head, in your mind, in your spirit, in your body, and if we allow it to like grow and do something with it, then it's big magic.
Mm,
And a lot of times we think that, oh, it's over, it's too late, we're lost, whatever, it's too late. But it's like, no, all of us. And it's like finally you have time
yeah.
to do it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to pursue these big magic.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, it's not too late until that last breath, and then we've got other stuff to do on the other side. But for now, it's not too late.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
there anything in conclusion, Marianne, that you feel like you didn't get to say during this part one of our conversation?
I would just mostly say like if you're thinking like who am I after the kids leave, I think that's a common thing. Like you were saying, we kind of have these things that we want to do with our lives, and then there's like not really a roadmap after that. And
Yes.
so if you're thinking that, I have a quiz that it's who am I after the kids leave quiz. And you just go to marianneiverson.com/quiz. And Marianne's with an I and an E on the end, or it's actually a front slash. I keep saying backslash, but it's a front slash.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
right. That
yeah.
one.
But it just kind of it asks you these questions of kind of help you figure out kind of where you're at right now and what's important to you in this next chapter. Sometimes it's just the naming it or the kind of figuring out that, and it kind of just gives you the naming it and the forward thinking of what you want to do in your next chapter. So
Right, because then it kind of it gets a little momentum going. You were brave enough to take a tiny little step into what might be next and to hopefully move along, give yourself permission to do more with it. So thank you
yeah.
for that quiz. And so where can people find you? Why don't you spell out I mean, I know how to spell your name, but why don't you spell out your website?
Okay, yeah. So it's just Marianne Iverson, MarianneIverson.com. And then the front slash quiz it goes to the quiz.
Right.
Yeah. And then I also have a podcast that's called Create Your Best Empty Nest. And that can continue on the conversation if people are interested in learning more about this.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, create your best empty nest. What a fun title. Oh, that's great. Well, Marianne, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really wonderful to take this time and get to know you a little better.
Yeah, you bet. It's great to be with other like-minded women who believe that the best is yet to come, right?
That's right. I think they made a song about that.